What's up guys, and welcome to Web Pro Education's daily tech tips. In today's video I'll be showing you my top 10 or my favorite 10 tips and tricks for the Oneplus Nord Ce 5G. Now this is a phone that packs very many features, which I've gone through most of them on my channel, but for this video I'll be talking about my top 10 tips and tricks for this video. So first tip is you can switch between buttons and gestures on this phone. So as you can see, I'm using buttons currently. This one will take you to the multitasking window, this one will take you back, and this one will take you home from wherever you are. Now if you don't want to use buttons and you want to use gestures instead, simply go to settings, and then on the settings page go down to buttons and gestures, tap on that, and then go to navigation bar and gestures. And then here you can switch between the buttons, as you can see it's selected there, and you can change to navigation gestures by tapping on that, and that's it. You can see the buttons disappear, and from now on you can use gestures to go back, to go home, and also to go to the multitasking window. Number 2 is the ability to switch the audio output device. Now sometimes it might be connected to a Bluetooth speaker or some headphones or even Bluetooth headphones, and this phone gives you the ability to switch between different output devices. You can switch between the default phone speakers and your headset without necessarily turning off headset or turning off Bluetooth. So when you're playing music or watching a video and you press the volume rockers, you can see this menu at the top here. When you tap on that, it allows you to switch between the different audio output devices. So I'm currently switching between my Bluetooth headphones and the phone speakers. Now if I had connected other Bluetooth devices or other speakers, they're going to be listed there and I can switch between any of them. It's a pretty nifty feature right there. Number 3 is reading mode. So this phone has a reading mode, and reading mode basically turns your phone into a reading device. Maybe you want to read books, maybe you have the Kindle app here and you want to read a few books. So this phone's reading mode basically turns the phone into almost a reading device with all the features really you want from a reading device. So once again, go into settings, and then on the settings page go to display, and then here under scenes you should see reading mode. Now here you can select between mono effect and the chromatic effect, and that's what the mono effect or the reading mode looks like. You can switch that up to the chromatic effect, and that one basically turns the screen into this yellowish background. And then you can also choose to block peak notifications when you're reading, and you can also set up a few apps that will automatically trigger reading mode on your Oneplus Nord Ce 5G. For instance, I have the Kindle app installed on my phone, and I've set it to automatically turn on reading mode as soon as I launch the app. And you can tap here and add more apps to this reading mode. It basically just makes the display more comfortable to look at for a long time when you're trying to read something. And while we're still on the display, let's look at vision comfort. Now vision comfort basically just blocks out the blue light from your phone and basically makes your screen warmer and more comfortable to look at, especially for those people who use their phones in dark rooms or in their beds at night. So when you turn off vision comfort, you can see the screen automatically gets warmer, and you can even adjust the color temperature to make it even more warm or less warm. And besides that, you can also set the vision comfort feature to turn on automatically from a certain time to a certain time. For instance, you can have it set to 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. So every time it's nighttime, it's going to turn on vision comfort by default, and then when it's daytime, it's going to go back to the normal mode, which is obviously brighter. So that's vision comfort for you. Blocks the blue light from the screen, protects your eyes, keeps you healthy. It's a nice feature. Next is how to hide the punch hole camera cutout at the top of your Oneplus Nord Ce 5G. Now this is the punch hole cutout for the selfie camera. Now most people don't mind it, but a few people might notice it and they really want to hide it. On the default wallpaper and in dark mode it's not very visible, but if you're not using dark mode, you're gonna see it every time you open the settings and every time you're using an app with a white background. Now if you want to, you can hide this by going to settings and then go to display, and then on the display page go to advanced and then go to front camera display area, tap on that, and as you can see, this one shows the front camera, which is the one we are on right now, but you can switch to this one and it's going to add a black bar on top and essentially just hide that punch hole camera cutout. So from now on, when you're using apps with like backgrounds and from the menus, you'll not be able to see that punch hole camera cutout. Next up is dark mode. So this phone also comes with dark mode, and you can set the whole operating system to be in dark mode. And to do that, again, settings, go to display, and under scenes, you should see dark mode there, and you can choose to turn it on manually, and it's gonna go automatically into dark mode. You can also choose to have your phone turn on dark mode automatically. So this option basically lets the phone decide what time is sunset and what time is sunrise, and it's gonna turn on dark mode at sunset and turn it off at sunrise. The custom time range option basically lets you decide exactly what time you want dark mode automatically turned on and when you want it turned off. But if you want dark mode continuously, simply use the manual button, and that will basically turn the whole operating system into dark mode and keep it on dark mode until you turn it off or change the setting. So next up is turning off 5G. Now you already know that the OnePlus Nord Ce 5G is called 5G because it has 5G. But then most places don't even have 5G yet. And of course 5G will drain your battery like nobody's business. So you might want to turn it off, especially if you're not using it. So to do that, go to settings and then go to Wi-Fi and network, then go to SIM and network, and then here under cellular data you should see preferred network type. So tap on that and you can see it's currently set to either 2G, 3G, 4G or 5G, and it's automatic, and that basically means it's always scanning for the best network available. So it's always searching for 5G and 4G networks. Whatever it finds, it connects and uses. Now you can turn off the option that has 5G and only use the one that has 2G, 3G and 4G by selecting that, so that it stops draining your battery trying to look for 5G networks. And anytime you find a 5G network that you want to try out and use, you can simply go back there and turn that on. Next is parallel apps. Now parallel apps are basically called dual apps in other phones, but they're basically two iterations of the same app that you can use on your phone with two different accounts. For instance, you can have two Instagram applications and even two WhatsApp applications, especially because this is a dual SIM phone. You can have two WhatsApp applications running at the same time with the two different numbers as the two different accounts. So to enable that, simply go to settings and then go to utilities, and then here you should see parallel apps, and here you'll see a list of all the supported apps. So you can turn on parallel apps for Instagram and even for WhatsApp. And so now when you go back to the app menu, you should see two instances of WhatsApp and two instances of Instagram, and you can do this for all supported apps. And you can now go ahead and set up the two different WhatsApp apps with two different accounts, and you can use them at the same time in a parallel fashion, hence the name parallel. Anyway, next up is customizations. Now this phone also carries a bunch of customization options that you can find in settings. So go to settings, then go to customization, and here there are a couple of things you can customize, like accent color, system icons. For instance, you can change from the round icons to these teardrop icons, then tap on save, and now you should see that all the icons will now turn into teardrop icons, at least in the settings window. You can also change the font, accent colors, and then you have this interesting canvas, which basically turns photos or mostly selfies into canvas. Now I tried it on one of my selfies, and it still has some work to be done on it because it wasn't that good, and you can see a preview of what that looks like. Really, it's not the best canvas they could have come up with, but anyway, it's a nice feature, it's a good thought, and maybe go ahead and try it on better selfies. Here you can customize and change to different wallpapers and different wallpaper styles. You can even customize the fingerprint animations that appear every time you're trying to unlock your phone, so you can change to a fingerprint animation that you like. And of course, you can also customize the horizon light that glows on the sides of your phone when you have notifications or you have things to attend to on your phone. So it's a pretty beefy set of customization options. Lastly is how to shoot high resolution and even raw photos on your Oneplus Nord Ce 5G. If you want to shoot high resolution and raw photos, you can use this menu at the bottom here to slide all the way to Pro, and that will take you to the Pro camera. And this basically means here you can switch everything, including white balance, ISO, autofocus, all that stuff. And as you can see, by default it shoots photos in JPEG, so you can tap on that. Then here you can either choose 64 megapixel, and that will now take high resolution 64 megapixel photos anytime you snap a photo. But then if you go back to that menu, you have an option to select raw, and this basically lets you shoot raw images on your OnePlus Nord Ce 5G. Raw images are good because they have a lot of data that you can edit in editing softwares like Photoshop, and you can get the best out of the images you take in raw. Anyway, so those are my top 10 tips and tricks for the OnePlus Nord Ce 5G. Now, that's not even close to covering everything. This phone is packed with features that you can use and take advantage of. And I'll talk about most of these features in subsequent videos, so make sure you subscribe not to miss any of those. But as far as this top 10 tips and tricks video is concerned, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. As usual, leave your comments and questions down below. Don't forget to share and subscribe for more tips. Until the next one, my name is Chris, and I'll talk to you guys soon.